Mooney in motion. That's a great front four for Washington, but the line does its job and open and making the catch inside the 30-yard line, DJ Moore. 2nd and 10 from the 16-yard line. Fields, look out, under pressure, down he goes. 21-yard line, Montez Sweat. 3rd and 14. Four-man rush again. Fields to the end zone. Moore, touchdown. So Fields, who had the big first half last week,
be able to get vertical. Watch the safety be influenced here, and that creates the opening to the outside. Again, give Justin Fields.
Thomas can catch as he did on the last play, and he's stuffed in the backfield. So on 3rd and short, come up for their second drive here from the 26-yard line. Fields is going to keep it. Has blocking as well. Yard gain, 2nd down and 3. Fired, caught, 1st down. Ain't easy. Pass to the outside. Nice move to the inside, and then DJ Moore. Yeah, Young trying to stay healthy has been a problem the last couple of years. Meanwhile, big hole exploited on the right side. Herbert. They go 5 wide here. Pass is caught, and trying to get that first down, backing toward the line to gain, but a little short is Cole Kmet once again. 22-yard field goal attempt is good. So Eberflus is now calling the defense. 3rd down and 11. Deep drop. Howell's going to take off and not go very far. DeMarcus Walker is there again and told to basically stay home. LaShawn Johnson is now in the backfield. Play action. Pass caught. Moore. Great spin move to the inside. Off he goes again. What a first half for him. And finally, after he breaks the tackle of the rookie Forbes, another long gainer. Intentional grounding, didn't get it. Meanwhile, 2nd down and 10 now. A little flip here to Johnson. Fields to the end zone. Reaching up. Does he make the catch again? DJ Moore. Touchdown. He is having a career in one night.
It's a little slant and go. Perfect placement. Fuller never locates the football, and Moore so comfortable being able to get his feet down. Watch this route. Watch Fuller bite on it man-to-man. Ooh, little inside move, and the throw could not have been any better.
Gibson. The back, the pass caught. We got something going here. Played a lot of center in his career to that spot. Play action here. Howell fires, caught, another first down. Coming again, a flag is thrown. Chip, and for the moment, dropped. Almost picked off, but it's dropped. No wind to speak of. Treshway to put it down. And Sly's kick is perfect. He'll keep it. It's a block there from Blasingame. 2nd and 3. Fakes the give. Fires over the middle. Making the grab there and getting into Washington territory is Cole Kmet. Herbert. Enough for the first down as they give it to him inside. 4th and inches is what they're going to call it now. And again, does he make it? They say nothing yet. High snap, collects it. Again, Herbert, tough running. Fields under pressure. And nothing, just has to keep it and eat it and tackle to the line of scrimmage by Sweat and Young. 4 wide here. Fired, caught, 19-yard line Kmet. Fields to the end zone. Action is there. It is Darnell Mooney. There's contact made. It'll be 4th down.
It sure looked like it was early contact, not playing the ball to me.
Sure did. 36-yard attempt here.
Ron Rivera's communicated with him pretty openly, so you're right.
Right.
Different energy.
Howell throws, it's going to be picked off. Greg Stroman intercepting it on the pass right over the middle.
Here's the matchup right here, but what I want you to watch is Howell works from his left back to his right, and by then he's late. You know, this is, again, the area that he's trying to work and understand is the timing of his progressions. And it's, as a young guy, it just takes time. It's examples like this of learning through this. Heck of a play, by the way, by the backup nickel, Greg Stroman, who's been out in most of his career with a lot of injuries. I think he had like 73 snaps in the last 4 years until the injury this year to Kyle Gordon.
Ready to go. From the 33-yard line on 3rd down and 7, Herbert fights his way inside the 25. Look at this. Cody Whitehair leading the way. And Herbert's now the man. Go 5 wide here. Fields hanging in. Rolling away. Fields looking for the first down. Gets it. And ready to go. Fields again. Over the middle. Caught. Kmet. Touchdown.
And here's the big tight end right here going up against the middle linebacker, Cody Barton. It's a mismatch. I mean, he gets separation. Even if he doesn't get separation.
I'll let them do the talking. From the 25. Pass. Robinson makes the grab. Robinson is able to slide away from contact, and it's a good beginning for Washington from the 39 on 1st down. Get it out here to Gibson, and they picked up 3 first downs on the first 4 plays. From the 27 now. Blitz coming from the outside. Picked it up initially. Has time. Throws. Contact. Flag. Going to call it against Chicago.
On the defense, number 29. That's a spot foul and an automatic first down.
Robinson is the back. Fake to him. Howell on the run. Howell throws to the end zone. It's caught. Thomas. Touchdown. Washington. Man, they must have had a pretty good talking to each other in that locker room. Howell again rolling, looking, going to keep it himself and get in there. 2-point conversion is good. Only a 1-yard pickup. 2nd and 9. Little fake toss, keeps it himself. There he goes for a first down. Pressure. And that's caught, so Moore gets back in. Ready to go. 3rd and 5. Fields under pressure. Escapes again. Throws a little bit low, and it's Herbert there. Does not make the grab. Empty here. Go 5 wide. 2nd and 3. Howell fires. That's caught. It's going to be a first down here. Catch is made. Thomas. Ball comes out. Chicago thinks they have it. Come up with a tight formation here. Fields surveys. Danny's going to go in his own territory. That time Jonathan Allen got there to get the sack.
Game to get somebody on the field in their place, but Khalil Herbert looks like he's doing everything to go again.
Yeah, we'll see what happens when they're on offense. Meanwhile, that pass is hauled in by Gibson. Stays inbounds, takes it to the 35-yard line. From the 40, 35-yard line, that pass is caught. And taking it to the 20. Howell, look out! Sack, big play. Stroman.
This defense prepared, going back to his roots.
Rush 4. Howell steps up. Runs into traffic, gets away, and stays inbounds, and comes close to a first down. Make it a 13-point deficit. Sly's kick is good. Ready to go. Look out again, but there is Fields with that great athleticism, reaching up, one-handing it. 2nd and 10, so you got Blasingame as the running back. A fullback really by trade. That pass is caught. Moore is able to go down the sideline and turn it into a long gain. They're going to rule him out. He goes toward the end zone, but he's going to be stopped. Cemented the win. As Fields Fields throws a little too far for Moore. Trenton Gill to put it down. Through the uprights it goes. Real good man. From the 25-yard line. Howell, can he get out of the backfield? Yes, he can.
Plays alive, so instead of a loss, he gets the positive yards of 5.
2nd and 5. Extra pressure. Fires to the outside. Edmonds coming over from the Buffalo Bills. 4-man rush. Howell buys time. Throws into traffic. Caught. Until that incomplete pass. And again, straight drop back. Fires and traffic with the catch made, flag thrown.
Just a tough catch for Thomas to come down.
3rd and 10. Caught. Can he get the first? Yes, he can. Needed 10. Brown picks up 12. Caught inside the 5. Wide open. Touchdown, Curtis Samuel.
Blitz here puts the safety in a really tough spot. Hicks has been playing well, but see him hesitate on that outside receiver coming in. There's just no chance.
With the 2-point try. Howell. Can he run it in? He cannot. Gets rid of it at the last second. Snap a little low. Fields throws. And it's incomplete, intended for Moore, broken up there. Extra man, pressure coming. Look out, down he goes. And Ngakoue with the sack. 3rd and 13, Howell throws. Can he pick up the first? A dive by Logan Thomas. Howell hangs in, throws on the run, catch is made. Inside the 25 goes Terry McLaurin. They're going deep into the bench to get somebody back there. Pressure comes, and it's a one-handed grab. Somehow, someway, Howell gets rid of it. Pressure again. Incomplete. Slice made him from 51 and 32. 2 for 2. And this one is Blasingame. Not bad for a guy who had 3 lifetime carries. Pass is hauled in by Moore. Gets free. Washington gambles and lose the gamble that time. 56 yards, touchdown. Fuller trying to jump it. Moore able to make the catch and then free to the end zone.
See the soft coverage off to the left. I think the Commanders were probably expecting run, and instead they get aggressive, playing to win. Get the ball out to DJ Moore. What a risk by Fuller there, trying to go for the football.
Yep.
That's hit or miss. There's that cushion. And more yards after the catch.
Yep. Took a gamble and rolled a 7. Not on the come-out roll either. Touchdown.
Look how close that is. Wow.
That's the night of nights for the former Panther.
That's why they brought him over.
But yeah, they bring him over, they get all those draft picks.
Here, let's go Bears fan here.
Yeah. And a sack. That's Walker. That's caught, but well short of the first down. Turned it over on downs.
Ready, go, go.
Little high snap, no problem. It's going to take us A 37-yard field goal attempt. That's what they say, right? One day at a time. That should take us to the final whistle. Little pushy shovey. That's going to do it. John Bates makes the catch. What a night for Fields. What a night for Moore. What a night for Matt Eberflus. There he is. Getting this team ready. Great job. Coming off the disaster last Sunday. Short week on the road, and man alive. First win in almost a year.